In this lesson, we're going to cover a bit of striking terminology. So the first one that we're going to cover is going to be a forehand. So if I'm starting with it in my right hand and I strike going forward and across towards my left side of my body, that is a forehand. Whether it is angled downward, that's a forehand. If it's this way, it's a forehand. As long as it's going from the same side of my body, so since this is my right hand, if it's on the right side of my body and it's going towards my left side, then that'll be a forehand. Now, a backhand would be if it's my right hand, but it starts on my left side of my body and then goes to the right side of my body, whether it's down here and it goes across, whether it's some other motion, this is still a backhand because it's going from the opposite side of my body to the same side of my body. Now if I switch hands, now I'm holding my left hand. If it goes from left to right, it's a forehand. If it goes from right to left or opposite side of my body to same side of my body, then that would be a backhand, right? So I will use the term forehand, backhand to help differentiate a few things. Next thing is going to be center line. So if I'm just standing just like this and we cut my body in half, that is the center line, okay? So a lot of times strikes will go to the center line, they'll go through the center line, maybe you're attacking on the center line, you're going through it, but just understanding the term of center line, right? And now, this term still stays active even if I'm here, right? So if I'm completely squared, it's right there in the center. But now, if I blade off, it shifted, right? So it's not here in my chest, it's with reference to your opponent, right? So if I have an opponent in front of me, or if I am your opponent, my center line is right here now, okay? It's not right where the center of the chest is, it's where the center of the body as you view it is, okay? And that's gonna be important because the center line does shift with reference to you and your opponent, so keep that in mind. Okay, the next thing is going to be broken versus fluid strikes. So broken strike goes to the center line, stops, and it could go through or it could retract back, right? But the key to being broken is the fact that it stops or pauses on the center line, okay? A fluid strike just goes right through it. It could be a backhand, it could be a forehand. It doesn't really matter as long as it doesn't pause here. If I was to pause and then go across, pause, then go across, these are broken strikes. If I just cut all the way through, then these are fluid strikes, okay? And then the last thing we're gonna cover is going to be the live hand. So the other hand is called the live hand. It has a few different places that it's going to just kind of hang out, right? It could hang out on the center line. It could hang out on the hip or pocket area of that same side. Sometimes this is drawing another weapon. Sometimes it's just getting out of the way. Sometimes it's holding a weapon out of your way, right? Or it could be behind you, right? So when you would use different positioning varies, right? If I'm going in close and I know I'm about to start kind of grappling with somebody, then the other hand, the live hand, is going to be more center line and it's going to be ready to grab something, right? Grab them, grab their weapon, doesn't matter. It's ready to grab and be active. Here, it's usually just trying to get out of the way. So a lot of time if I have another knife or if I'm doing like a spade dagger or sword and dagger, I'll hold it back here so I don't have to worry about accidentally stabbing myself since it's out of the way. If I'm doing long range distance and I'm trying to hit somebody, but I know that I'm not gonna be closing the distance where we have the possibility of grabbing, then I'll usually have it kind of back as more of a counterbalance and to prevent it from accidentally getting hit. Because I have had it where I was just sparring at more of a long range and they reached out and just hit my other hand because I was actively avoiding this hand, but it was chilling here and it got in the way and it got hit. So be aware of that. All right, so hopefully these terms will help you understand Kali a little bit more. They also translate into other weapon system or other fighting systems. And for even more practice and lessons on this, make sure to go ahead and follow along in my follow along classes.